Hello everybody, good evening and welcome to the United Stand. Manchester United have a bid for Jadon Sancho incoming. This is the big news this evening. Do I believe it? No, I don't. I don't believe it, but what I would say is that the news is definitely coming from numerous sources. Bullshitters on Twitter to actual sources. So look, there is something behind this. I mean, it could be bullshit. It could be pure. Jadon Sancho before the Euros. Jadon Sancho 5 weeks before we release a new kit that they need to sell. I don't know. We'll get into it. Because that's what tonight's show is going to all be about. But let me just say, first of all, tonight's show was meant to be about Ollie in or Ollie down. Maybe we'll get onto that towards the end of the show. We'll see. But the show has had to change, which is why we're a bit late. I also want to say tonight's show is sponsored by Boohoo Man. As you all know by now, Boohoo Man have entered the activewear market in a big way, and that is why they've gotten me involved, because obviously I am a physical specimen that definitely does say active. And I can see why they've gone for me, because I'm in peak physical condition. Seriously though, the new active range is great, and if you want something different and very reasonably priced to wear down the gym, power league, or even on the golf course, like something like this, then head over to Boohoo Man now and check out what they have to offer. As always, you can take advantage of the massive 40% discount that you can get with the United Stand exclusively for our viewers by clicking the link in the description and using the code United Stand at checkout. Thanks so much to Boohoo Man for supporting the channel. We really appreciate it. And we can move on with the show. But as you can see, I think this sort of thing would look nice down the golf course or down the power gym. You know, I'm liking this. I could wear this down the pub tomorrow night. I'm off down the pub tomorrow night, and people would say, yes, you look good. And I would go, yes, I normally do, but I know what you mean. Anyway, yeah, links in the video description, and you can check it out, 40% off, and you can look like me. They've got this in like lots of different... I really like it. I really do like this top. It's sort of smart activewear. It's definitely something for golf, isn't it? Hi, Mark. My dog Wendy died last night. Today, says Bartholomew. I hope you're not joking, Bartholomew, because there's nothing I like. I don't like people who joke about dead dogs. For me, dogs are good. Dogs are good. You know, I was going to say... No, I can't say that on live content. The thing about a dog is if it hurts itself, it doesn't matter who's done it, it will always come back and want a stroke. A cat, miserable. But a dog... I don't want to get in the cat-dog debate, but I'm very sad. June the 7th could be a big day for the Glazers and Sancho if they want to keep the fans happy over the Euros. They've done well. Oh, United, it makes me feel so sick. 90% club. Remember last summer when we were thinking about September the 7th or all go to the 7th because it's like the 7th and he's going to wear the number 7 shirt. I've got to be honest, I can't be arsed with this bullshit. I really can't be arsed with this bullshit. Zane's talking about Saka and Sartinelli and Aubameyang. Mate, you're shit. Your club's shit. We're talking about a big signing for a club that you'll never make. I have watched the Sir Alex documentary. Right, can I just, before people start asking me questions, it's not a Q&A yet, can I just say, please subscribe to the channel. We're going to have a massive summer, but this is big news tonight. This is coming in, big news. I'm going to ignore that Paddy McNair comment as well. I saw this coming in earlier on, and I was like, oh, what a load of crap. What a load of crap. The Ollie in out, Ollie out video has been parked, mate, because I'm trying my very best to start talking about Jadon Sancho, but people keep asking shit questions. Like, should we talk about Ollie in or Ollie out, or should we talk about a bid going in for Jadon Sancho? I think 90% of us, pardon the pun, know what we want to talk about. So, right, this Jadon Sancho story. Let me tell you what's going on. Apparently a bid's going to go in for Jadon Sancho tomorrow or this week. There are people lying on Twitter, as there always are, and there are actual stories around this. And somewhere in between will be the truth. I'm not going to sit here and say we're not putting a bid in for Jadon Sancho this week, because I don't have that information. But I'm not going to sit here and believe somebody on Twitter, because I don't believe people on Twitter who've got fake accounts. Because if you're real, why aren't you Fabrizio Romano? Why aren't you Simon Stone? Why'd you have to hide behind an account and every summer appear like a bloody daffodil? You know, if you're real, why can't you be real? Oh, because I've got sources. Well, Samuel Lucas has got sources. Laurie Whitwell's got sources. Simon Stone's got sources. I know who the bloody sources are. Those sources don't care if you put your real name on Twitter, mate. So why are you hiding behind some fucking fake account? You know, if you genuinely have got information, why don't you actually come out and, you know, maybe you'll get yourself a little blue tick instead of being a Billy bullshitter, okay? But I cannot sit it. Look, I'm cynical. I'm cynical about the Sancho deal because I, like many others, invested so much time into this deal last summer, and United messed it up. Do I think they're going to mess this deal up this summer? No, I don't. I don't think they're going to mess this deal up this summer. But I'm not going to start putting percentages on it because I did that last summer and it went very, very wrong. But I do think they will do the deal this summer. And I think they'll do the deal this summer because people who protested have forced them to do this deal this summer. They're scared. They're terrified. They know people think Solskjaer ain't good enough. They know people don't want them in charge. So they're going to try and buy themselves out of trouble. And what's the easiest way to buy yourself out of trouble? Go back and do the deal you should have done a year ago that you know everyone wanted to happen. So United will go for Sancho. And I think there's a very big chance United will get Sancho. Because Liverpool don't want Sancho and Chelsea don't want Sancho. This is all bullshit. I don't believe that Liverpool or Chelsea are even in this race. So it's a one-horse race. And United are very good at winning one-horse races. They're just not very quick at winning them. The deal with the player and the agent is basically done from last summer. If Sancho still wants to come and United offer Dortmund what they want, the deal can be done very, very quickly. Can it be done? Can it be done this week? And that's what people are sort of saying. Now, all I'm going to say to you is the reason I'm late is talking to people who I know who have got people who know stuff. This deal could happen very, very quickly is what I've been told. So I'm not going to say the bid's going in tomorrow, and I'm not going to say it's happening this week. My personal opinion, and look, I've got the right to an opinion. I don't care whether I trust somebody's opinion about, it's going to happen very soon or not. My personal opinion is, why do Manchester United want to get a quick deal done for Jadon Sancho when they've never done anything quick in their life? You know, they don't do quick. And what's the benefit of a quick deal? Well, the benefit of a quick deal is that it shuts down the Glazer out movement. It makes everybody get very excited. Oh, we've got Sancho in and the transfer window's only just opened. Imagine what we can do over the rest of the summer. And it also makes a lot of sense because we all know United have got loads of deals to do. They're going to have to be dealing with Pogba in July. They're going to have to sort one of the goalkeepers out. Lingard, maybe a centre-back, a CDM, Pereira, Dalot, Matic, Mata. So getting some business done quick is a good idea for United. It makes a lot of sense. But Jadon Sancho is going to be our biggest signing since Paul Pogba. Do you think it makes sense for a business, not a football club, because we're a business, not a football club. Do you think it makes sense for a business to sign Jadon Sancho just before the Euros? Hype killer. I don't care what anybody says. The Euros will kill a hype of signing. You sign Sancho tomorrow, you get 3 or 4 days of hype, and then everyone's going to forget about it because of the Euros. So all the piano playing and all the little dancing, no one's going to remember that. He's going to be playing in the Euros. Secondly, you sign Jadon Sancho next week. No one's going to buy the shirts because the new shirt's not out till July. So I don't think it makes sense that United will do this deal this week unless we're finally going to start acting like a bloody football club and just start doing the business we need to do across this summer when we can do it. Because logically, Dortmund will sell. Sancho wants to go. United need the player. Let's dance. Let's dance. So yes, it makes sense that it could happen this week. I'm not going to write it off. The only reason I'm not putting a percentage on this deal is because I did it last summer. I'm not doing it again. I've already said that the 2 signings I'm pretty sure United are going to make. In fact, if I was a betting person, the 2 signings I bet United will make are Sancho and Trippier. I think we'll buy other players. I just don't know who that's going to be. But look, there is noise. Mark, there could be some truth in it because if Sancho has a good Euros, then his price would go up, says Andy and Bruno. Makes sense. They will want to do the deal before the Glazer meeting with the fans. Vinit, makes sense. So yeah, 2 flip sides of the coin. And I'm open. I'm open to those flip sides of the coin. Of course I am. Of course, the other thing is, you sign Sancho for 80 million. He plays in the Euros. He breaks his knee. He's out for a year. So there's flip sides to the coin, of course there are. Can you wish my nephew Hugo a happy birthday? He's a little red devil from Uncle Darren. Happy birthday to Hugo from Uncle Darren. I'm not Uncle Darren. Uncle Darren's Uncle Darren, but happy birthday. The fee will be around £80 million. I mean, look, I love the transfer window. I hate the transfer window. I love the transfer window. I trust the information I get. I hate the information that gets put out on there on social media because there's liars, there's chances. You know it. Every single summer, these chances come out with bullshit lies and muddy the waters and frustrate people and turn it into a toxic situation. I said, I don't know whether I said it on this channel or I said it in the group chat I'm in. I said I could put a tweet out right now saying Manchester United are advancing talks for Jadon Sancho. A bid is incoming very soon and a deal will be sealed this summer. It's the most blasé, broad-speaking statement I could ever make, because basically it says at some point this summer we'll buy Jadon Sancho, and I actually think that will happen. But the people who start to say it's going in tomorrow, when the bid doesn't go in tomorrow, it did go in, but they haven't told anybody about it. The bid went in yesterday. The bid goes. Here's another one. There's a bid going in for Jadon Sancho tomorrow. Tomorrow night's show, when people say, well, why is the bid not public? Right. The bid's been accepted, but Dortmund, United and Sancho have agreed to keep it really quiet until July the 1st when the new kit comes out, and he'll be announced on July the 7th. But the bid did go in tomorrow. Bullshit again. What if they want to show the players something? Hassan, I don't know what they're going to show him. Their family pics, holiday snaps, I don't know. So yeah, look, let me just say, I might have had a message while I'm live. In fact, I have got a message while I'm live. There is a lot on social media about Jadon Sancho bid going in this week. All I would say is, who knows? I'm not going to be that person on the Sancho deal that goes, I've heard this is definitely going to happen, or I've not heard this, so it's definitely not going to happen. I think Jadon Sancho is a tiring transfer. It exhausted me last summer, and I'm sure it exhausted you as well. If you think I'm going to invest in this transfer as much as I did last summer, I'm not. For me, I'm very much about when he holds the shirt up, I will believe it, and that is where I am on this. But on the other hand, it is very much a fan channel. It's about different opinions. I appreciate some of you will be getting very excited and hyped because that's your personality. And who knows? Maybe the bid will go in this week. Maybe it will go in July. Maybe it will never go in. But what I would say is, from the conversations I've had, some of them on this channel with people like Fabrizio Romano, I believe Manchester United will sign Jadon Sancho this summer. I personally think it will happen in early July. It could happen this week. I believe it'll happen in early July because where's the hype? United want the hype. They want the shirt sales. They want the hype. They want the razzmatazz. So therefore, July is the best time to do it. But then again, maybe there is a change at United. Maybe we are going to try and be a bit of a football club, because I'll tell you what, we should be signing somebody before the Euros. There is too much business for United to do to try and start waiting until mid-July to do everything. Pogba's future, De Gea or Henderson, the signings we need to make, the players we need to move on. You can't do everything in 3 weeks. So they actually do need to move, and they do need to be using next week, the week after, all of June, all of July and all of August. Because the transfer window doesn't close till the end of August, by the way. I think there are some people out there thinking, we've got to get it all done in July. We haven't. I want us to get it all done in July because I don't want to start the season with Ollie going, I'm still hopeful that... how many summers have we had this? The season starts and the manager comes out and goes, we're still hopeful of doing some business this transfer window. You've already lost the game to Crystal Palace. Yep, we're still hopeful of doing some business. Let's not start the season with a team that's not ready again. Because, look, we dropped 6 points in our first 3 games because we weren't prepped. Add those 6 points on and, you're a little bit closer to City. Happy Memorial Day, Mark. Love your channel, says MSJ. Hi, Mark. Off topic, did you see the video Patrice ever made on response to Liam Gallagher? Yes, I did. Mark Mkhitaryan was... to be honest with you, the Evra video was very funny, but... the result happened on Saturday night. I was singing the Oasis song on Saturday night. It's now Monday. Why as United fans are we trolling Man City fans 48 hours after a Champions League final? It was funny on the night, but who are we? Have we got? I forgot we've won a couple of trophies this year. I forgot we're Premier League champions. It's what I said yesterday morning. It's like, I understand getting excited at the moment Man City don't win a Champions League, but to be still doing it 2 days later is exactly why we fail. It's small-minded. We're not that club. We shouldn't be that club. Celebrating Man City losing a Champions League final. We're Manchester United, for fuck's sake. That's something Man City spent decades doing. Come on. Let's get back to winning those trophies ourselves so that we don't have to be a sad Arsenal, Poundland Arsenal celebrating other teams losing because we can't get there ourselves. Mark, Mkhitaryan was better than Sancho, says Zane. That's enough of that comment. If United don't get Sancho after a month of negotiations, we should forget about it and go for Grealish. Don't waste time, says Pisco. I think you've raised a good point there, Pisco. Zane, please stop using my credit card. Please, you have school tomorrow. Get some sleep, says Mrs. Miassi. Boom! Boom! That's the one. That's the tweet. That's the super chat, sorry. That's the one. You've just ended Zane. He's crying. He's crying. Zane's crying and he's grounded. But no, that point there was a very, very good point. From Pisto. Was it Pisto? Pisco, not Pisto. Pisco makes a very good point about it. I mean, look, forgive me for saying this, but, everybody who's getting excited about a Sancho bid going in tomorrow, have you just, had a brain transplant? Because Harry Maguire, Bruno Fernandes, Jadon Sancho last summer that didn't actually happen, Wan-Bissaka, every deal United does takes on average 4 weeks. How are we going to wake up in the morning and just send an email to Dortmund and say, boom, there's the bid. Thanks, high five, let's do it. They're not American, they're German. Dortmund are going to go piss off. Do you think United are going to go, there's 85 million? Do you really think United... And they shouldn't do that. There should be some negotiating here. How sad would it be for United to ring up Dortmund tomorrow and go, what do you want? 85 million, there you go. After all last summer, pissing about. Why would you go and give them what they want now? I think 80 million, maybe 75 million with add-ons, maybe 70 million with add-ons. And this is why I can't understand how a bid goes in tomorrow and it gets accepted. Maybe a bid's going in tomorrow as a first bid. Maybe negotiations start tomorrow, but they go on for 4 or 5 weeks. I think I'm right on this. I think maybe what's happened here is that there's a story of a bid going in, and maybe tomorrow is where the negotiations start. But we're not Liverpool. We don't fancy a bit of Fabinho at 7 o'clock and have him delivered at 9 o'clock. We're not Amazon Prime. We're far from that. We're Pigeon Prime. We're not even Pigeon Prime. We're just a pigeon. We're a pigeon flying from Australia round the world back to Australia again. It's going to take a while. So maybe tomorrow the negotiations start. But God, if you think a bid's going in tomorrow and he's holding up the shirt by Tuesday, I'll have a bit of that pie, but it's a magic pie. I don't think it's going to happen like that. So, maybe what's happening here. And look, I've got to be fair. I have got to be fair. I know there's a lot of bullshitters on Twitter saying there's a bid going in tomorrow, but there is something going on behind the scenes as well with these sources around certain players and clubs, as always. There is something going on. I think this is the start of negotiations. And the start of negotiations, if you think about it, Man United started negotiations with Bruno Fernandes on January the 1st. He didn't sign till, was it the 28th? Harry Maguire took 6 weeks. So negotiations with Dortmund can go on whilst the Euros are going on. I just don't see a bid going in tomorrow. Sancho saying, Gareth, thanks for picking me in the squad. I'm just off to Manchester to do a bit of PR. They haven't even got a new kit. I don't know what they're going to do, but I'm off to Manchester to sign. No, I don't see it. I think this is just the start of the negotiation process. And in 6 weeks' time, it will be mid-July. So I think that maybe this is the start and the end will be the new shirt. Because I cannot for the life of me see United announcing Sancho without holding up one of those nice new shirts with TeamViewer on saying, buy me, buy the shirt. I can almost imagine Jadon Sancho saying, look, what a lovely red, what a deep red colour this is. Get yours today with my number on the back for $69.99. Get your kids one as well for $49.99. Also available in extra large. Use it as a duvet cover. They've got to make money out of this. They've got to make money out of this. And he's the biggest signing since Paul Pogba. I don't see it. I don't think we're competent enough, and I don't think we would want to announce this deal before the Euros. I hope I'm wrong. There are people telling me that, you might be wrong on this, but you know what? If I'm wrong on it, I benefit anyway. Mark, I'm 90% club. I'm 90% sure we're going to hear Ollie say he's no time to bed in the new lads and Ben White's fitness is touch and go. says Nick P. J Lings fam says, Mark, remember how Van der Beek was signed? Everyone did not believe it, and in 2 hours' time the deal was done. Maybe Sancho. I think it's a bit different, J Lings fam. I think it's a bit different. And to be fair, it was 2 days. Donny van der Beek hit on the Saturday, and I think it was announced on the Monday or the Tuesday. You're right, J Lings fam. You're right to sort of promote it and you know, get people a bit excited. But I don't think Jadon Sancho is the sort of deal that can happen like that. Having said that, you know, I'm a bit like a pancake today. I'm flipping it around like all over the place. You know, flip. But what I do know is what I knew at the start of August a year ago is that loads of things have been done on this deal. Loads of things were done last summer. Agent fees, player fees, marketing rights. It really was so close you could almost touch it. And the thing that couldn't be touched was the fee with Dortmund. But I still think there'll be a lot of negotiating to go. But look, I'm not going to go down the percentage club here, but I do think next season Jadon Sancho will be a Manchester United player. What if Sancho and Ronaldo come in? What would happen, says Mr. Big Brains? Well, basically, we'd play a back six, and those two would be playing rock, paper, scissors up front because they get no service. Sancho and Ronaldo don't solve our problems. We still need a centre-back and a CDM. So, yeah. Generational talent. Why we are going to spend our transfer budget on one player? Because the Glazers need to get people back on side, Marlon. Basically, they need a marquee signing. Unfortunately, because we're owned by a bunch of prats who've got no idea what they're doing, and because the coaching staff at Manchester United are terrified of actually standing up to them, they'll all sit around in a huddle and go, basically, all we want to do is get the fans buying shirts again. What do? Marquee signing. Will that help us win the title? Who gives a shit? As long as we get top four, we can just keep. We can spend nothing next summer. I think United are 100% going to make a marquee signing, and the reason they're going to do that is because they need to inject some positivity and hype into the transfer, into the fan base. With all due respect, if Manchester United bought Basuma, Varane and Rafinha, it doesn't inject the hype and media exposure of Sancho on his own. So they will make a marquee signing. We've been linked to Sterling. He's cheaper and proved it in the league, says Zane. Oh, Arsenal. It could still happen very soon. United have been negotiating for more than a year. Outdid their average, says Vinit. Well, look, you know, I'm more than happy to see this because I don't lose. I don't lose on this. If Jadon Sancho signs for United this week, I win as much as anybody. I'll be over the moon. I want him at United. I wanted him a year ago. If he doesn't sign till July, I'll sit there and say, well, that's what I predicted. So I can't lose on this one. I absolutely cannot lose. And I don't think anybody can lose on this one. As long as he ends up being a United player, we can't lose on it. I would still say this, though. There's two things I would say. I always seem to say two things. There's two things I would say, though. One, never forget this should have happened last summer. We're getting him a year late. And that's a fact. We should have got him last summer. So even when even when Woodward says, this is my goodbye present, shove it up your arse, Woodward. You should have done it a year ago. You know, you're not having a load of credit for it now. It's a year late. It's not a year too late, but it's a year late. The second thing I would say is, why did we spend over 40 million on Pellistri and Amad Diallo to still buy Sancho? So we bought 3 right wingers in 12 months and we've bought no CDMs, which is one of the most important positions on a football pitch. But we've bought 3 right wingers. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I always felt that Pellistri and Diallo were panic buys to try and say we did something because we didn't get Sancho. And I'll guarantee you now, Pellistri, Diallo, Sancho, 2 of them won't have a future at United. Transfer cycle takes average 10 days for City, 20 days for Chelsea, and they go for multiple transfers at a time. Why is United cycle so slow and bad? Because we're shit at transfers, Akshay. To keep updated on the Sancho deal, you have to follow the urban music artists that support United, like Santan, Dave and H. Remember Pogba and Stormzy, says Jay. Sancho is needed. Diallo can learn a lot from him and they both can be dangerous. Rashford can just focus on the wing now, on the left wing now, says Sean. Mark, did you see the try not to laugh video on Twitter, says King Morrison? Nope. I will take a look at it though. The Sol rumours are not true, no. And I was quite surprised that Sterling signed with New Balance. I couldn't give a shit. Please retweet IGEM and help us to make early diagnosis for tuberculosis, says Deepak. Okay, I'll have a look at that for you. And Sancho can play left as well. Yeah, I mean, Sancho could play number 10 if he wants to. I mean, I'm not going down that road yet. This is not the Sancho, what's he going to bring to United? You know, we've still got to deliver. But for anybody who wants to be a cynic about this, the Glazers literally are wearing nappies at the moment. They're sponsored by Pampers. They're shitting themselves, quite literally, because fans running around on the pitch and cancelling a Premier League game, having to put up, barriers like they're bloody, fighting, a war in olden times with big bloody castles. They don't like having to do this. What they like to do is log on to their online banking and go, oh, look at all the money we're making from merchandise. That's where they want to get back to. To do that, they can't just go, we're not spending any money this summer. So they've got to buy players, and they will buy players. And I think Jadon Sancho will be the player that they buy, because, to be honest with you, this doesn't get said a lot. What is the most marquee signing United can make that sells a lot of shirts, that gets people excited, makes people think we might become a big team, and also is hugely marketable? Harry Kane doesn't do it as much as Jadon Sancho. Cristiano Ronaldo probably does, but doesn't have the future that Sancho has in relation to career, career years. Sancho is hugely marketable. His marketability is untapped because he's an Englishman in Germany, and there's nothing wrong with being an Englishman in Germany. Unless it's like in the 1940s, it might have been in problems then. But history bridge, check out what was going on in the early 1940s in Germany. But the reality is, Englishmen in Germany playing football is not the same as Englishmen in England in the Premier League, the most marketable league in the world. I think people underestimate the marketability of Jadon Sancho and the fact that it's untapped. It's untapped. He has done adverts for Pepsi and stuff with Pogba, but he doesn't get the exposure because he's in Germany. Put Sancho in the Premier League, he's going to be as marketable as Pogba, and the club know that. So really, Jadon Sancho is not just a priority because he's a creative player. He's also a priority because he's another Rashford, he's another Pogba, he's another Lingard. Bruno's a fantastic footballer. Sancho is a fantastic marketing tool for Manchester United. He's money, and Manchester United love money. So it makes a lot of sense. It makes a hell of a lot of sense. The league isn't ready for Rashford, Greenwood and Sancho trio, says Imran. I just hope they deliver, mate. I really do. Lingard was huge. Nah, people are saying Lingard. People are saying, did he say Lingard? Where you been? You've been living up your mum's chuff for the last 2 years. Come on. That means, have you just been born in the last 2 years? Because Jesse Lingard, whether you like it or not, 2 years ago was probably the most marketable player we had with Pogba. Like, he was on everything. He was doing all the kit launches. He was doing everything. So to say that Jesse Lingard, it's just very easy to shit on Lingard at the moment, isn't it? But Lingard 2 years ago was massively marketable. He was on everything. People were getting pissed off with it. He was on everything. So, yeah. I couldn't give a shit about careers mode at the moment, Oily, to be honest with you. So I'm not even thinking about that. Lingard is a marketable player, 7.4 million followers on Instagram. Exactly. I don't think people realise what I'm saying here. I'm not saying marketable is a good thing. To be honest, I would rather have Bruno every day of the week over a Sancho or a Pogba, in relation to the fact that Bruno isn't marketable. He's just a footballer. I'd rather have De Bruyne over Pogba. I would rather have Son over Sancho because they're footballers. I just want footballers at Manchester United. I'm not really bothered about whether they're going to sell shirts or get a deal with Pepsi. I want them to perform on the pitch. But what I'm saying is Manchester United absolutely love players that are marketable. That's why Pogba was a huge pull. That's why Sancho is a huge pull. They can make money out of this player, not just from shirt sales, but also from everything else that goes with it. Mark, don't forget, we have the same people doing our transfers this year as last year. £50 million wasted on Palestri and Diallo. So Sancho and then cheap nobodies coming into the club, says Kevin Latham. Look, mate, everybody's got to make their own minds up about how you want to be. how you want to how you want to be manipulated, I suppose. If United sign Sancho this week, I'm not going to start there going, can't wait for the new kit to come out. I'm like, right, who's the centre-back and who's the CDM? Because I'm telling you now, if we get Sancho and Varane, it's a bad summer. It's a bad summer because you're still playing McFred next year. You're not winning anything with that. There's no point in, buying a Ferrari in pieces. Oh, I've got a Ferrari engine, I've got a Ferrari chassis, but I got no wheels. Well, it's not a Ferrari then, is it? But I have got a Ferrari engine and a Ferrari chassis, but you got no wheels. You've got no wheels. And United need all parts this summer. CDM, centre-back, right-winger. Just reading something here. Club are briefing a Sancho bid. Club have a kit they need to launch and sell. Club have been told by England they don't want disruptions during the Euros. This really isn't as complicated as last summer. Manchester United will speak with Dortmund this week without a doubt. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really in the England mode at the moment. I don't know whether England have said that they don't want any distractions in the Euros, but ultimately, as I said before, my theory at the moment is, and I might hopefully be wrong on this, but my theory at the moment is that United are going to start speaking to Dortmund about buying Jadon Sancho fully in full knowledge that it's going to take a long time to agree on a bid. So I don't think it really matters whether England don't want any distractions. You've got to get the tick from Dortmund before you fly Sancho over. So I think that Manchester United I think that there is look, people are tuning in late. There's this talk of a bid going in tomorrow for Jadon Sancho. I don't believe that. I don't believe that. I don't think it's true. But what I believe probably is true is that negotiations are going to start tomorrow. And I'd love to be wrong on this. I'd love a bid to go tomorrow, and I'd love Sancho to be coming in on Wednesday to hold his shirt up. But he's playing for England on Wednesday, and he's playing for England on Saturday. So if Jadon Sancho was signing for United, realistically, Thursday, Friday, maybe he could hold a shirt up. Next week, we're playing on the Sunday, so maybe next week, Monday, Tuesday, he can come and hold the shirt up. Maybe it can be announced that the deal is done pending a medical in July. I don't know. But United don't do deals quickly. And that's the thing I'm going to stand by. And also, as I've said before, this is a huge deal for United. This ain't Dan James. We announced Dan James and we're like, there he is in a training top. Do you want to do Jadon Sancho will be a United player at some point in the future, but the deal's done. We just, we've got it done quickly before the Euros. One of our biggest signings ever. And, especially when you've got everything going on with the Glazers, you need to hype this up to huge levels. You need this momentum to build. You need the anticipation. You need the Fabrizio Romano, here we go thing to break the internet. You don't need it to be rushed before the Euros. So, oh look, we've done a signing. It doesn't seem like it's going to happen to me. But look, there's definitely noise. I'm not poo-pooing it. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. It just doesn't feel right. But in the back of my head, I can hear people saying, well, we've got a new director of football now. The Glazers are in trouble. They're scared. Maybe they've got to do something different. And yeah, you're right. Maybe they've got to do something different. But until they do something different, why would I think they are going to do something different? And I think that's what people are doing here. They're assuming that we're going to do something that we've never done, which is put a bid in on one morning and have it done in a couple of days. We don't do that. That they're going to go and spend a load of money without it being linked to a big video or the release of a new kit. I don't think United do that. But maybe they do now. Let's see. Thanks for the contribution, King O'Dane. If Ollie gets Koundé, Torres, Sancho, Neves, Rice, yet he plays McFred and Magaluf, then I think it's about Ollie playing his favourites for sure, says Salah Ahmed. I don't think Ollie would do that. I think if he got Sancho, Varane and a good CDM, I think they'd all start. And I think he knows he needs to start them. My only worry is Sancho better on the left or the right. This season I've seen him more on the left, says Moses. I think at United he goes on to the right. 100%. Yeah, because Rashford's no good off the right. Rashford's got to play off the left. Ash Little says, on a positive side, Mark, all the personal terms are done, so it could be done quickly. Our track record is bad, but only the price needs agreeing. Ash, I don't want to sit you down because you've made a lovely super chat and I do respect you, but can I just say, personal terms were agreed on August the 4th. The transfer window didn't close till September the 3rd. 2 months we were as close as we are now negotiating. So that doesn't fill me with any confidence that, oh yeah, we've completed all the personal terms. That was all done at the start of August, mate. There was still 2 months of the transfer window to go. We still didn't get it done. I think people are thinking, all we've got to do is agree a fee with Dortmund, like we do that. You know, we don't do that quick. I hope we can, but we don't. Sancho's not going to Arsenal, TC. And Varane needed more. How many goals have we let in due to crap defence? We can score goals. We need a world-class defender more than another winger, says MU. Hey, you know what? I was asked a question today, and it was a very good question. I'm going to ask it to you lot now. I was asked this question today. If United were going to bring Ronaldo to the club, but you had to sacrifice Sancho, a centre-back, or a CDM, what would you do? And I said, look, if I had to take Ronaldo back at the club, but to do that I had to sacrifice one of those 3 positions, I'd actually sacrifice Sancho and not buy him. I might be in the minority here, but to me, if I could only buy 2 out of Sancho, Varane and a CDM, I would sacrifice getting Sancho and get the centre-back and the CDM. I know it's not glamorous, I know it's not sensational, I know it's not marquee, but I've watched United this season and I'm telling you now, a centre-back and a CDM is the priority. You know, if we didn't have Jadon Sancho next year, you could put Mason off the right, Rashford off the left. You've got Diallo, you've got Cavani, you've got Martial. You know, we've got options. We've got younger players coming through as well. If you buy Sancho, you've got Sancho, Greenwood, Martial, Cavani, Rashford. You've still got people like Dan James as well, as of course. But in the midfield, you're still playing McFred and you're still playing Magaluf. So to me, the priority is centre-back and CDM. But I'm not in charge of United, and I'll tell you right now, Man United's number one priority is Jadon Sancho. Whether that's right or wrong, their priority position is Sancho. And if Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was told you're only getting 1 player, Varane, Declan Rice or Sancho, and nobody else, you've got to pick 1 out of those, Ollie picks Sancho. Who do you pick, actually? If you could only pick 1 player, and we will buy more than this, but what I'm saying is, if you had the choice next season, you're only buying 1 of these players, Sancho, Varane, Rice, and nobody else is coming in, who would you go for? Because for me, Rice. Yeah, definitely Rice. The CDM's the priority position, and if it wasn't Rice, it would be Varane, but it wouldn't be Sancho. So it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'll tell you now, Solskjaer is Sancho. Solskjaer wants Sancho. Sancho is Solskjaer's priority position. For me, it would be Rice. Second place would be Varane. But that just shows you, you know. And can I just say as well, if you added Haaland in there, he'd take Haaland ahead of Sancho. Ollie's preference would be Haaland first, Sancho second, and probably a centre-back third, CDM fourth. Mine would be CDM, Varane, Sancho, Haaland last, because I'm looking to build a team. I'm not looking to build a bloody cake, a cake with you know what I mean. I don't want icing, I want a cake. Got to be Rice. I think it's unbelievable the difference he could make, says Jude. I think it's just a CDM. It's the difference a CDM would make, really, mate. I agree with you. I think they want Sancho before the Glazer meeting. No better way than to lubricate before going in, says Galactic. I think that's a good point. We've heard a few people talking about that. We've got this meeting with Joel Glazer attending on Thursday, and I definitely think he doesn't want to walk into the Lion's Den without saying, here's a gift. And maybe that theory does make sense, but is that theory as far-fetched as let's buy him on the 7th because he's going to wear the number 7? It could just be a fantasy speech, a fantasy theory. Hummus says, I'd pick Declan Rice. Mark, if we had signed Sancho last summer, he would have created more goals. How many more points do you think we could have had? Hummish, I don't look back in anger. I don't look back on that, because anybody who thinks that if we had Sancho last season we would have won the league is a fool. You know, we still would have played McFred and Magaluf, and they still would have cost us all the goals that they did. So I don't think Sancho makes this team win the title last season or next season. I suppose that's the way looking at it, isn't it? It's like you know, people go, where would we be if we'd had Sancho last season? But where will we be next season with Sancho on his own? I don't think either way we win the title. Mark, should we be concerned that Ramos may go to City, says ESPN reports, whilst we're being so slow sorting this out? I'm not bothered about Ramos, Sean. I don't want Ramos. I don't care if Ramos goes to City. I don't want Ramos. I want a centre back that's going to give us a few more years than that. I hope Matic and James won't be sold, and I hope Mata gets a new contract, says RTE. You won't be very popular. You're not going to be very popular, RTR. Please smash a like on the video, by the way. Let's see if we can get 3,000 likes. Over 13,000 watching. Thank you very much, everybody. Remember, every morning at 10 o'clock, we've got our news show. Every night at 8 o'clock, we've got this show. Please subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. And when you do subscribe, make sure you click the bell and get your notifications on. This summer will be busy. There will be times where we're going live outside of the normal shows, responding to breaking news, etc. So make sure you subscribe, get your notifications on. You're all very welcome, and obviously we'll be reacting to all the big stories and news collectively as a community, as always, like we have done tonight. There's always two sides to a story. Sometimes there is more. This story that Sancho is a bid's going to go into tomorrow. Some people think he's going to be holding up the shirt by the end of the week. I don't. It doesn't mean it won't happen. I can categorically tell you that I have heard from a couple of people that I trust that there is something going on, and that don't be surprised if anything happens before the Euros. My theory is, and it's only a theory, is that this is the start of negotiations, and that these negotiations will take a long time and will go beyond the Euros. But maybe the negotiations are starting. But maybe we're going to do something we haven't done. Maybe we're going to do what Liverpool have done in the past, which is be linked to a player and get it done very quickly. Would pick Rice so we don't have to put up with McFred another whole season was torture, says Luli. And with Ollie at the wheel, I'm afraid no matter who we sign for the CDM, we will continue to start McTominay, even with him able to play more offensive. I'm not convinced he is a starter, says Emil. You know what? You know why I think McTominay gets picked a lot? And I was watching the United Way yesterday, and Cantona mentioned this, not specifically to about McTominay, but just in general. The youth player at Manchester United is valued above any other player because they get what the club is all about. They've come through the youth setup and they know the history, but they know the fabric of the club. This is why McTominay is being valued, because he gets what United's all about. He's a passion merchant, just like any other youth player like Scholes or Neville. And passion merchant can come across as quite a negative statement, but it's not. They are passion merchants compared to others because they've got the passion. They know what it's all about. So I think McTominay is valued because of his work rate, and he's a United lad through and through. Now, Lingard was like that, and ultimately he proved not to be good enough. My fear with McTominay is that ultimately I just don't think he's good enough, but I think he gets loads and loads of chances because he's come through the youth setup and because he runs around a lot and gets physical. I hope I'm going to be wrong about that as well. Hi, Mark. Have you ever thought about coming to Gibraltar? Your following would be great to see you out here in our Man United club. Now it's on the green list, says Gulam. I'd love to come to Gibraltar. I think, aren't United going to Gibraltar, or is it Malta? If United don't get a CDM, would you like to play Van der Beek as a CDM, says Thomas. I don't think he can do it, Thomas. I think he can play in the pivot, but I don't think he can play there. Safe word is Pineapple says, what if Sancho plays well in the Euros and another club hijacks the deal because Woody and his pals are haggling over a bag of jelly babies? Well, yeah, that is the risk. Personally, I don't want to come across that I don't want this deal to happen, because anybody who knows and watches this channel will know how much I like Sancho. Nothing would fill me with more joy than to know that Sancho is a United player and sit back and enjoy the Euros and shout at Southgate for not picking him and picking Sterling instead. But I just don't think, unless United are going to over. And look, here's an interesting point. All right, tomorrow morning we put a bid in of 85 million and Dortmund say thank you very much, high five, fist pump, you've got the deal. That's good, but also, should we not be negotiating on this, considering how many players we need to buy? Is now not the time to negotiate anyway? Because if you can get that Sancho deal down by 5 million or even 10 million to 75 or 80, that 5 or 10 million can go a long way. That could be 25% of your fee for a CDM. It could be 25% of your fee for a centre-back. So, actually, we probably should negotiate this a bit. Dortmund need to sell a player this summer. Sancho wants to go this summer. United are probably the only club in for Sancho. Should we walk straight in and go, yeah, there's 85 million, just because everybody wants him to be signed before the Euros? He can't play for us till August anyway. So, it might actually make sense to negotiate that deal down over a few weeks. We'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. But 85 million, I think, is a little bit expensive. I do. I think 80 million tops, not 85. Jay Ling's fam says, do you think Scott McTominay is a Scottish Fellaini? Well, a lot of people like Fellaini. I can see similarities, I suppose. Some people in this chat really don't get a brain, says Luxury. I don't want any negotiations they pissed about last year and pissed off Donny van der Beek, says Reese. And curious if you could choose Sancho or Grealish, says Via. I tell you what, that's a good question. I'd take Sancho, I think. Yeah, I think I would take Sancho. Yeah. Yeah. I like Grealish. I really like Grealish. But I think I would take Sancho. Yeah, because I think Sancho, the thing that gets me excited about Sancho is that if you followed Sancho in Dortmund, and I know a lot of you have, he's got as a wide man, he's got goals and assists in him, and more importantly, he's got assists in him. And I think Grealish is a creative, but I think Sancho is more of a creative. I also think Grealish doesn't play off the right wing. We need a right winger who can put a cross in the box, and Sancho can do that. On the left-hand side where Grealish plays, that's where Rashford plays. So for me, it's Sancho, but I would love Grealish. I'd love Grealish at United. If Pogba left, I'd like Grealish. Yeah. Hi Mark, not sure if you've ever seen me, but I'm the Delhi guy, and my question to you is, what will you do if Ollie doesn't get the backing? Will you hold on? Says David Neen. What will you do if Ollie doesn't get the backing? Will you hold on? Hold on to what? Will I stay Ollie in if he doesn't get the backing? The thing is, he will get backed this summer. The extent of the backing will be there for us all to see, but he will get backed. Ollie out or no trophies, says Jared. McNally, I did have a few drinks earlier, and I do feel a little bit lightheaded, but you've got to be professional. Got to be professional. If Grealish played for Dortmund, he would get better numbers than Sancho, says David. But if my gran had wheels, she'd be a bike. It doesn't make any sense, does it? What with Rashford's current form, do you actually think Southgate would pick him? Personally, I would leave him out and let him have his surgery. Oh God, no chance. I saw somebody on about this earlier. Rashford not going to the Euros. Southgate is basically an English Ollie. If you are English or you're going to watch England in the Euros, and I'll be doing a lot of watch-alongs on That's Football, Mark Goldbridge, That's Football, so check it out on there. But I'm telling you now, I do get into the Euros and the World Cup. I do get engaged into it, and being English, England's my team, so I will follow it. I'm already absolutely ready to be frustrated by Southgate. He's a defensive, conservative coach, and he absolutely has favourites. In many ways, he's quite similar to Ollie. He's a reactive coach. He doesn't react very quickly. He's pragmatic. He doesn't use his best players. There is no way. And I just want to say this: Rashford needs to go to the Euros, unless he puts his hands up and says, "I'm not fit." Rashford should go to the Euros. But Southgate will start Rashford every game again. Rashford will be... Southgate loves Rashford. We have signed Dortmund's best player twice and they both struggled. Do you think Sancho will be an instant success, says Joseph Borg? I'm not convinced Kagawa was Dortmund's best player when we bought him, and I'm not convinced Mkhitaryan was their best player. Mkhitaryan was doing very well and Kagawa was doing very, very well, but I think Sancho's different because he's English. So, yeah. Mark, what's your opinion on Aurelien Tchouameni? Well, I can't pronounce his name. I know he plays for Monaco, and I do really like him. I'd take him. Bit young, but I would take him as our CDM. Rashford needs a break, and Southgate worries me, says Liam Garner. Southgate massively worries me. I hope Greenwood makes it into the squad tomorrow, though. I mean, where do you sit on Greenwood? I do hope that Greenwood fits into the squad tomorrow. The squad will be announced tomorrow lunchtime, and I do hope that Southgate picks Greenwood, because I just think he's a player that offers so much. He may not play any time, but I do think it'd be good experience for Greenwood. Varane or Koundé, older or younger, an unbiased answer, Southgate or Ollie. It's a safe word, is pineapple. Varane for me over Koundé, but for me, one of those two players needs to sign for United this summer. Take Varane, Southgate or Ollie. Ollie's better than Southgate. I don't rate Southgate. Southgate's... I don't know how Southgate got the England job. I don't rate Southgate. What will it take for the Glazers to leave, says Mehdi? I don't... A sustained, organised, consistent, relentless fan movement, similar to what we saw a month ago for probably about a year, which I don't think we're capable of doing. Would you swap De Gea for Oblak, says Eskil? Only if De Gea wanted to. I think De Gea's earned that right. If De Gea wanted it to happen, it would get my blessing. If De Gea doesn't want it to happen, I wouldn't do it. Simple as that. Simple as that. Anyway, so there we are. News tonight that a Sancho bid is incoming. What I would say is, without a shadow of a doubt, there is 100% a bid coming in for Jadon Sancho. I'm not confident it's going in tomorrow. I'm not convinced it's going in this week. I don't think it'll even go in next month. But a bid for Jadon Sancho will go in. Whether it'll be accepted or not is another matter, and when it will go in is another matter. There is talk that this bid will go in this week. I think, in summary, I believe that United will start negotiating this week, but those negotiations could go on for 6 weeks, like normal. I would be very surprised to see a bid go in this week and be accepted, and Jadon Sancho to be a United player by the end of the week. Remember, the Euros are starting. Remember, there's international friendlies ongoing. England play on Wales and play on Wednesday and on Sunday. So and also new kit doesn't come out till the end of the month, start of July. So I don't think this will happen soon. But as we know with United, they love the interaction. They love the social media interaction. There are definitely leaks out tonight about United putting a bid in for Sancho. Categorically, yes, there are. There are bullshit and liars on social media. You know, the normal lot who come out and pretend to be in the knows. They're lying. Of course, some of them are lying. But on the other hand, there is definitely leaked information out there. Not saying it's from the club. Could be from the agent of the player. Could be from another player, could be from a coach. There is definitely leaks out there that United are about to bid for Jadon Sancho. You can take that and sleep happily with it. When that bid goes in, how long those negotiations go on for, I suspect we're in for a long wait. But ultimately, all that is good. And that's another reason we've not even spoken about. United love the interaction. To get the deal done very quickly deprives them of 5, 6, 7 weeks of interaction and all the stuff that they love. So the logical thing is this is not going to happen until July. The logical thing is that the negotiations start now. The surprise thing, and maybe the turning of the corner, would be that we get this done really, really quickly. I'm here to be convinced. I would love this deal to be done this week. I'm a winner if it happens like everybody else. But I won't believe it till he's holding up the shirt. And I think the shirt he holds up will be the new shirt. So therefore I think it's going to be July. But let's see what happens. There's definitely... I'm not dismissing the story. I'm not dismissing the source. There are sources out there chucking it out that United are going to put a bid in. But the bid is the first stage. You know, there could be loads of negotiations that go on. So let's wait and see what happens. Southgate is a Brexit Ollie, says Sean Deitch. If we spend 80 million on Sancho, is it another year of poor CDM centre-back for his given current prices now a reputation of big spenders, says Nap. That would be my fear. I can see United putting a bid in for 70 million and it's going to be rejected, says Michael Southcombe. Well, that's another reason why it could take time as well, because surely it's logical to put a low bid in first. Sammy tweeted this morning, Chelsea are interested in a deal involving Hudson-Odoi for Dortmund winger Jadon Sancho. I don't believe that. Niloy. And hands up if you're ready for another summer of frustration and false hope. 90% Club, where are you guys? Says Joshua Bowwater. I'm not resurrecting 90% Club. I said I'd never resurrect 90% Club. I might resurrect 90% Club, but I'm not at that point yet. I'm not at that point yet. And just remember, I've said this before and I'll say it again, and you can get your predictions in the comments. If you're asking me what 2 players I think United will sign, and they will buy more than this. I'm not saying it's going to be Trippier and Sancho and that's it. I think Trippier and Sancho are the 2 most briefed I've been about players going into this summer window. So I think that Trippier and Sancho are 2 players that United will buy this summer. If I was betting those 2. I've got no idea who the centre-back will be. I don't even know if we'll get a CDM. But Sancho and Trippier, I feel quite confident that we're going to buy them. Anyway, thanks everyone for watching. Please smash a like on the video. Remember, I'm wearing the Amazon. I'm not wearing the Amazon. You can't wear the Amazon. It's a river, isn't it? I'm wearing the Boohoo Man activewear here. I look very good in it. It's got a bit of a zip on it as well. If you're getting hot, you can just go, oh, that looks good. I should have gone with that look. Let's get it on. Oh, yeah. Think I better dance now. Anyway, yeah. Looks very good, doesn't it? Links in the video description. 40% off exclusively to United Stand viewers with the code United Stand. Really good activewear weight range that you can wear around the gym or around the Power League or when you're playing a bit of golf. Links in the video description. And I'll see you all later. Think I better dance now. Get up, get on up. Get up, get on up. Stay on the scene. Get on up. I'm like a sex machine. Get on up. Get up, get on. I just went from Tom Jones to James Brown. Speak to you all later.